Hello and welcome on Watches TV, and today I have the pleasure of having Mrs. Ash with us from Watchonista because we were both invited last week to participate at the AP Social Club. That is an annual gathering where AP is showcasing all of its main novelties, but of course they didn't show us everything because there's still Watches and Wonder and the year is still long, but nonetheless it was already quite intense.
Thank you very much for the warm welcome for the very first time at the Watches TV studio. Feels super great, and I am very ready to discover and to discuss more than to discover the novelties that Audemars Piguet presented us at Social Club in Andermatt, which was a truly amazing experience because they really managed to build this very AP Brassus area with different workshops. We went through the Fab Lab, the new technologies. We saw the new releases, and we actually experienced the time a little bit different with the discovery of the new pocket watch. So all this we will discover right now.
That's correct, yeah. No, they really know how to host, and we're about 150 journalists from all over the world. We had a little side special with them because they followed us. Maybe you have seen that on their AP social media. So let's walk some of the novelties, and let's start immediately by one that was kind of a surprise because it didn't come in a round case, and with their new jump hour coming in this rectangular case.
So the novelty is called the Neo Frame Jumping Hour. Audemars Piguet, as you know it, since 1929, used to have the jumping hour complication, and they said, like, well, let's get back to our origins, let's get back to a shape case, and they released this new rectangular, I would say, neo-vintage timepiece with the Godron case in yellow gold. It has this look of the onyx, but actually it is the sapphire, black sapphire.
Black PVD, the sapphire dial.
Exactly,
yeah.
black PVD sapphire dial. When I first saw the photos, I was a little bit scared about the big logo put on it, like in gold, but actually when you have it on your wrist, it kind of disappears on the dial. It's true that lately the jumping hour complication has been completely fascinating for all of the collectors.
Well,
like
we've seen a few examples from Cartier, even from Chrono Suisse, and some other examples coming out over the last few months. So indeed, a cool complication. This watch is, I would say, indeed mimics the codes of the original model with this Godron feature, but it's a little bit thicker, a little bit bigger because of the size of the movement, which isn't a shaped movement, it's a regular round movement. So the size is a little bit big to my personal feeling, so it's more kind of a man's watch, I would say, but I could totally see it a little bit thinner and slimmer, but otherwise interesting watch with an interesting strap, a veil strap with an interesting texture.
Yeah, it's a new technology from AP. It's true that the collectors has been complaining a little bit about two things on this watch. It's the round caliber. Well, maybe something new will come sooner. And also the fact that it's slightly big. But as Ilaria Resta, the CEO of Audemars Piguet, confirmed to us, it's just the first one, and maybe we'll see what will come next.
That is correct. So they emphasize quite a lot of open work and skeletonized pieces, and we'll focus on that with probably one of my favorite, I would say, of the show, which was the Royal Oak open work perpetual calendar. It looks really absolutely gorgeous. Comes in a titanium case and bracelet, so it's quite light, very pleasant on the wrist, and with the BMG bezel, which gives it a little bit of contrast, which is absolutely nice. This one, it was appreciated by absolutely everyone. And again, comes with this perpetual calendar movement that was introduced last year, meaning that you can set every indications from the crown itself. Pretty handy.
I think user-friendly is the word for this complication, for this watch specifically, and also its brother or sister.
Yeah.
The code 1159, also open-worked, self-winding perpetual calendar with the white gold case and this black ceramic middle case, which gives like a very modern vibe and also like a different scale to the Code 1159 family. User-friendly, yes, right. Everything set with the only one crown. I think it's a very beautiful complication, and to see all of the intricate movement through the dial, through the open work, gives a different dimension to the watch. Absolutely.
And at the same time, very legible. That was kind of a surprise, but really nicely done. I mean, the subdials are nicely circled with a little trim around it, which kind of, disappears, appears when you're playing around with it. But let's now go with the skeletonization, and they also showcased a piece that apparently you quite appreciated.
Yes. Absolutely, I quite liked it because it's a smaller case, 37 mm double balance wheel, royal oak. Yellow gold.
Yellow gold, yeah. That was kind of the novelty because we have already seen it in some other versions, but this time in yellow gold.
Absolutely, and yes, it takes a lot of presence on the wrist. Yes, it's shiny, it's yellow gold, it screams a little bit. But I kind of liked it. The craftsmanship of this open work is completely sublime. I find that we have to have a little bit more of those kind of craftsmanship on a smaller case dials. With the new double balance wheel, AP enhanced open worked, and I think a lot of people will appreciate.
And following on what you were saying, there were many workshops we could actually see artisans playing around and showcasing their crafts. That was really nicely done by AP, I must say. And let's talk about just a quick second about something more technical indeed with the Fab Lab, because they introduced, they showcased a little bit more how they can play with materials, mixing them, giving a very special feel and to some of these pieces. But something that was really interesting was the fact that they came up with this case, which is made out of ceramic. No, it wasn't ceramic, was it?
Ceramic.
It was ceramic, yeah. But it's not only the case that they're manufacturing, they're actually incorporating structural elements to the watch itself, meaning that you have actually part of the base plate, which is part of the case itself. Very interesting venue, and looking forward what that will follow up with.
It also means that you can print whatever pattern you want on the case, on the bracelet, and it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, and they showed us one of these examples, which was it was an ultralight 40-gram piece, because I mean also the bracelet was printed. It was that was quite impressive to have on the wrist because you just didn't feel anything. And it has a proper sapphire glass. It's not made out of plastic whatsoever to gain a little bit extra grams here and there. No, it's actually a real functional watch. Interesting piece. So a little bit more on the stony side and maybe a little bit more feminine models. We were shown, well, I'll let you take over regarding these 23 millimeter.
The 23 mm Royal Oak Mini.
Nickname Mini Oak. That's pretty cute.
Mini Royal Oak, yes. That's cute, yes. Makes me think about the fact that the trends that we started to stacking the watches on the wrist. So lately we saw Drake, who put 3 Mini Royal Oaks on his wrists. Then I said, like, okay, I was convinced I had to try that on. So 2 models, one with the mother of pearl dial, another one with the onyx dial and the indexes in diamonds. When I put both of them on the wrist, I said, like, okay, this is the new way of putting jewelry on. It's really a statement piece. I find the trend interesting. Let's see if it's a trend that will last or not. But another one that really hits today the world is the...
Just a second, just before, I just wanted to mention something about those 23 mm. Of course, they come with quartz movement, because today, I mean, it's quite difficult to source small size mechanical movement, and this is something that used to exist in the 30s, 20s, a long time ago, but now today it's pretty difficult to find. So maybe that's also something they'll be working on, doing some kind of small size mechanical movement movement. But please continue with the other piece that I know what you want to say about.
And I think you liked that piece. Just a couple of days ago, there was the Super Bowl, and Bad Bunny performed with a Royal Oak yellow gold malachite dial on the wrist with it. Why did you like the piece?
Well, I just like the combination of colors. It just worked. I think it looks really nice. And it comes in 37 millimeter and 41 millimeter, so you can really choose. And I've always liked malachite. It's a stone that has always had a lot of appeal to me. But what about you?
So the 37 and 41, I think it's a very nice combination for a pair watches. Why not? St. Valentine's is just around the corner. I don't know when this. I don't know when exactly this video will be up online, but let's see. Otherwise, I think that AP is still one of the masters of the stone dials. We saw last year with the codes. Now they just continue the rise of the stone dials with the malachite. I think it should stay there.
Yeah, we also saw one with a turquoise dial. It's not that wasn't a novelty, but you seems that you really like that one too. Yeah. So yeah, because I mean, we didn't see only novelties. We saw also previous models. It was interesting to do the kind of comparison of the evolution of some of these pieces, and then we got to see something rather incredible with the Heritage 150 Universelle pocket watch. And this is the thing that is really quite remarkable with this one is that it took the team of Giulio Papi, I mean, a very short time to be able to develop something as complicated as that. Is a 50 millimeter pocket watch. They still wanted to maintain size rather small, so they could actually be fitted in a pocket of your trouser. And this piece contains like around 40 different functions. But something that, I mean, just on the work of art of itself is just like, not talking about the mechanical part, but just all the applied métier d'art, technical thing. It was absolutely fantastic. It comes in a platinum case because generally for anniversary pieces, like it was for the 150th anniversary of the brand, it is a tradition to come up with platinum cases, which makes it obviously harder to engrave. It's not the optimal in terms of chiming performances, but that's the way it is. It's a tradition. And since it's a super sonnerie, I mean, that you're okay. I mean, this piece was chiming loud enough. But the engraving on the case is really quite something special. Absolutely gorgeous, I have to say.
With the 150 engraved on the case dial, true. But what really struck me on that piece is actually the fact that they integrated an analog computer inside of it, so everything is calculated instantly, and we don't have to set up anything by our own. Just wait a second, you need to understand that we're talking about more than 20 complications with different calendars that are all integrated and set up in one piece.
So for instance, it is a perpetual calendar, but you don't see the leap year indication. Okay, because everything has already been calculated. Instead, you see the actual year, and just by playing around with the year, it will know instantly if it is a leap year or not and make the necessary adjustments. Quite clever again from the AP. But it doesn't stop there. I mean, it's a chronograph, a split-second chronograph, a flyback chronograph. I mean, it has all the bells and whistles that a super complicated watch can have. But I would quickly come back also on some of the design features, because I really like this, the dial, absolutely beautiful Grand Feu blue enamel dial with a kind of outer ring, which is a little bit translucent. And I thought it was really, really absolutely gorgeous. But it doesn't stop there.
No, actually, think about all of the RDs series that we know. They have all been integrated into this piece. So the super sonnerie, meaning that we have the minute repeater, grand sonnerie, petite sonnerie, and silent mode.
coming back just on the chiming thing, is also, you mentioned about ergonomy. So everything you can set just also by a crown. The crowns are, the pushers, I mean, are multifunctional tools. Not only can you play around for your chronograph, but just by pulling it, then you can set if you want grande sonnerie, petite sonnerie mode, or silence. I mean, it's just very extremely cleverly done. And as you mentioned, it's a mix of things that we've seen between the different RDs over the last few years.
Absolutely. Also on design-wise, there are only 3 pushers and not more. Why? Because we need to fit the watch into a pocket of the trousers. So the team of Giulio Papi had to think about something super ergonomic, and they came out with, I think that there will be various patents on the 3 pushers only for 24 or 22 complications. Quite stunning.
Something also extremely clever and interesting lies on the back of the watch, because you have there also some kind of mechanical computer, which is independent from the watch movement itself. Okay, it's really 2 separate things, but they just blend in terms of design very beautifully. So with this special module developed in such a short period of time, you have like a big crown, I would say, that is hidden underneath, and you can select the year, and by doing so, you'll be able to see every kind of holidays and special occasions like Easter, but from different
calendars.
Yeah, from different calendars, whether it's a Christian calendar, Georgian, or whatever. I mean, it's quite extremely cleverly done, and I think it deserves a video on itself, because that thing really I really liked it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you can just play with the crown that is underneath of the dial. You can turn it, and by turning it, you change the year. And then you just see when exactly happened Easter in 1962, or any other Hebraic, Catholic, or Islamic holiday.
Yeah, you'll be able to see when is your birthday. I mean, which day of the week will be your birthday in 2032. I mean, very easily, and those kind of things. I mean, it's a playful module, but obviously extremely complex.
A piece of art, and it's true that AP remains one of the masters of techniques, but also craftsmanship on the market.
Mm-hmm. So what we could kind of pull out of this event is that indeed, of course, the Royal Oak has its magic appeal and will continue to do so, but trying gently a little bit to move out of it, because if you remember in the last few years, when they came up with vintage model inspired that were reissued, they called them Remaster 1, Remaster 2, and those were kind of always limited time of edition. But this time, indeed, with the jumping hour, it's not the case. They could have called it remastered, but it's not. It's really a new line within the collection of the brand. So again, trying to expand a little bit the range of products that the AP can come up with for us. I mean, yeah.
Absolutely. We will see more regular models, I think, in the future. More Fab Labs discoveries. New technologies. I think what Ilaria Resta said in the beginning of the AP Social Club was quite remarkable for such a long-lasting brand, 150 years last year, is that they try to respect all of the genders and all of the generations through all the new lineups. So yes, Royal Oak has its moments. Yes, the code is doing quite well. And with the new jumping hour, we'll see how the audience will react to the new shape of a watch within the Audemars Piguet line. It was quite inspiring. It was quite rich. The program was super nice. Thank you very much, AP, for the invitation. Thanks, Matt, for the opportunity to discuss the novelties again. It was very good.
Yeah, it was really nice. I mean, they definitely know how to pull a successful event. It was really cool. And it was fun to collaborate with you on this one. So, well, thank you for watching. See you real soon and have a beautiful day.
Bye-bye.